At the end of part 1, we arrived at a very important question, and that is, does Bobo heart Susie? Well, I'm here to tell you that yes, Bobo does heart Susie. It's almost a fact of life, like saying the grass is green or the sky is blue. Bobo heart Susie. So now that we've clarified this important point, let's move on to less important matters here. We have our equation, y equals 2x minus 1. We looked at this equation in part 1, but we're going to get a deeper understanding of it. As I promised you, I'm going to give you the tools to recognize this on a tree in the forest and be able to tell that it's a linear equation. So to start off, we're going to look at a few choices for x, and I want to see how y changes. So I took x equals 1, and I plugged it into our equation and found y equals 1. I did that for each of the other x's. So let's summarize all this information into a little table. Maybe it'll help us make sense of this. So I'm going to put all the x values in this column and all the y values in this column. So our first pair up here, x equals 1, y equals 1. Then we have x equals 2, y equals 3, and x equals 3, y equals 5. I just want us to recognize as x increases by 1 each time, going from 1 to 2 to 3, what happens to y? Well, as x goes from 1 to 2, y goes from 1 to 3, so it increases by 2, plus 2. Well, as x goes from 2 to 3, y goes 3 to 5, so it also increases by 2. So it seems that each time we increase x by 1, y increases by 2. So let's see if we can recognize this in our graph. So I have brought our graph here from our previous video, and I just want us to see how this plus 2 shows up in the graph. Remember, we have our x values on this x line. It's also known as the x-axis. And we have our y values on this y line, also called the y-axis. And let's plot these 3 points we have here. We have x equals 1, y equals 1, which would be up here. Remember, we start at the center, move down 1 unit for x, and then up 1 unit for y. And similarly, we'll plot x equals 2, y equals 3, and then x equals 3, y equals 5. So these are 3 points that are on our line. There are 3 solutions. So as you notice, as x increases by 1, y increases by 2. Again, going from 2 to 3, as x increases by 1, y goes up to 2. So this 2, this plus 2, it kind of forms the direction of our line. You think of it sort of like a slope. Like, let's say you're in a car. One way to think about it. You're driving up a hill. You have a little car right here. You're in a car and you're driving up a really steep hill. That's one way to think about it. Think of this line as a hill. You're driving up really steep. And this plus 2 kind of gives that angle. If it were a different number, let's say instead of plus 2, we just had a plus 1. So then what would happen? That would mean that each time our x increased by 1, we only went up by 1. And then, again, as x increased by 1, we went up by 1. And that would lead to a different line going through points here. So as you see, that plus 1 or that plus 2 kind of forms the direction of our line. You know, if we had our plus 2, our purple car would be going up that green slope. If we had a plus 1, we'd be on this slope. So kind of think of it like an angle, like a slope. And let's go ahead and summarize our notes so far. So we're saying that each time we increase x by 1, y increases by 2. So we're looking at that red example. How can we see that in our equation? So our equation was y equals 2 times x minus 1. Well, this 2 right here in our equation is that same 2. It's that red plus 2. That part of our equation tells us that each time we bump up this x by 1, our y goes up by 2. Y equals 2 times x, and then we have that minus 1. We'll get to that. But this equation is saying we're multiplying 2 times x. So each time x changes, y bumps up by 2. And so when we see an equation, y equals 2x minus 1, we can say that this piece right here, this 2, determines the direction of our line. As we saw our car example up here, when our 2 changes, when we went from a plus 2 to this plus 1, our car changed on its slope. It's going up a slightly less steep hill. First, we were going up a mountain, up a really steep mountain up here, and then our blue car went up to a regular sized hill. So, what about the minus 1? So let's consider what happens when x equals 0. Consider x equals 0. What happens when x equals 0? We'll get y equals 2 times 0 minus 1. So as you notice, in our equation y equals 2x minus 1, we just plugged in a 0. And that means this first part just becomes 0. It disappears. And so we're left with that minus 1 at the end. Let's try to put this on our graph. So as always, when we're plotting a point, start at the center, and x equals 0, so we just stay there. We're not going left or right, we're just staying at 0. And we go down, and then we plot a point. And so this negative 1 up here, it tells us that that is the value of y when x is 0. When x is 0, y equals negative 1. Well, when x is 0, we're just on this y-axis here, this blue y line. And this is also known as the y-intercept. Y-intercept. And that is where the line crosses the y-axis. So when x equals 0, then we're just staying on this y-axis. We're not moving left or right. We just go straight down to negative 1. And that's where our green line crosses the y-axis. So that's what that negative 1 piece tells us. We said our negative 1 piece is called the y-intercept. Our 2 from before is called the slope. And that kind of makes sense, right? We were talking about how a car drives up a slope and how when that 2 changes to a plus 1, our slope becomes a little different. Our car goes up a different angle. So think of it like that. Think of it like a car driving up a hill or a slope. Next time you're on the bus, think about it. You're going up and down a hill, you're changing the slope. So in general, we can say that y equals mx plus b, where m is our red piece, our slope, our 2 in our 2x minus 1, and our b is that negative 1. all lines can be represented by an equation in this form. And our equation that we looked at here was y equals 2x minus 1, where this 2 is our m. You'll often see m. It's just the variable that we give for our slope. Remember, just a number in disguise, and in this case, our number in disguise is 2, and our y-intercept would be -1. So you can think of this as, in other words, we have 2x minus 1, but it's the same as saying 2x plus -1, right? And so that kind of fits our form of our general equation. So now that we've done that, how about we jump up to our tree from the last video? So we have a tree. We have a tree. And now that we've clarified that Bobo does heart Susie, I told you I was going to give you the tools to be able to recognize that y equals 2x minus 1 is a linear equation. So what do? You're in the forest, you're just walking along, just having a good time, and you see this tree. You see this y equals 2x minus 1. Now what do you think to yourself? You think, okay, I know that all linear equations are of the form y equals mx plus b. Well, our equation here, y equals 2x minus 1, is in that form, right? We have our m and our b. We have our m and our b. Okay, so you can say that is a linear equation, and the slope is 2, and the y-intercept is -1. Well, let's say you just pulled out a piece of paper. You bring a piece of paper and a pencil with you while you're walking around in the forest, typical thing people do. And you're like, okay, so I know those things. If I know the y-intercept, that's where the line crosses the y-axis, right? Well, I could draw a little graph pretty quick. So the line crosses the y-axis at -1. So that is a point on the line. And the slope is 2. So every time that our x increases by 1, our y increases by 2. So we can put another point right there. And you can go ahead and draw a line through them. And there is your line. You didn't have to draw a million points. You found 2 points that are on the line just by using the y-intercept and the slope. And there you go. You can say that this is the line y equals 2x minus 1. And all the solutions for this equation are on that line. Boom, you did it.